Okay, welcome everybody to Kim's video journal and her journey of Alzheimer's and PCA in particular. Obviously we're going to do the usual. Today's date is Sunday, March the 15th, 2020. We'll start with the usual questions. What is your name?
Kim Dalton.
How old are you?
56.
What is your date of birth?
It's the 22nd of July.
And who's talking to you?
My husband Steve.
How many children do you have?
4.
What are their names?
Leslie, Christopher, Carly and Michael.
Do you have any grandchildren?
I do.
And their names?
Alfie and Alea, Corey and Sky, Mia.
What's your favourite colour?
Swings and roundabouts, usually orange or red.
What is your favourite out of these? Peach, apple or strawberry?
Apple.
What was your job?
I was the lead nurse and advanced nurse practitioner for bowel cancer services.
What other jobs have you done?
Worked in a fish and chip shop, and I was a registered childminder. I was what else have I done? I was jeweller. Did I say nursery nurse and a childminder? And I worked for Customers and Excise.
What was the song you danced with your granddad?
Moon River.
Where did you go on holiday each Easter with your family?
Caister.
What was the name of yours and Sean's pony?
Angus.
What is your favourite hobby?
Horse riding.
Which town do we live in?
Battlesbridge.
What day is Christmas Day?
25th of December.
Okay, hold up 3 fingers. Name a Carpenter's song that you like to sing.
I'm on top of the world.
Okay, you've got a book in front of you. You've got the start of the book. Name the introduction. I'll read out the introduction of the subjects.
Salad, soups, curries, marinades, noodles and basics.
Okay. Anything about this week you've enjoyed or not enjoyed?
I liked going and getting my dressage boots. That was exciting. And obviously riding ways. And been doing really well with my swimming and my seated Zumba classes.
Anything about the week that's been troubling you or you haven't enjoyed?
I just remembered something else, which was we went to visit our 2 of our grandchildren, Leslie and Chrissy's children, which was really nice.
Yep. Anything sad about this week or things that have been on your mind that's worrying or anything?
I worry about my dad because he's still mourning the loss of my mum, and it's worrying me how sad he is.
Okay. Right, that's all the questions. This week's subject is going to be, funny enough, after looking at the book and what you've done today, is food, cooking, healthy eating, how that's helped you through this journey at the moment. So over to you, Kim.
Okay, so I love food and we all need food. That's an absolute, isn't it? We have to eat to survive. And that kind of goes alongside with hydration as well, so drinking. So I'm going to put the two things together. Now, I suppose quite early in my diagnosis, it was apparent that I was starting to struggle managing to make meals and think about putting meals together, preparing them. All suddenly seemed to be quite a big challenge, and then with a visual impairment as well, makes it even more challenging. So we've had to look at changing our cupboards. So we've had to declutter all of our kitchen cupboards, so it's easier for me to locate things, but I still don't locate things very easily. I spend an awful lot of time making Steve seem like that advert on television where they go, Graham, and then he gets halfway up the stairs and huffs and puffs and comes down again because she says, oh, don't worry, and I feel like that a lot. But decluttering the cupboards has definitely helped me to see more independently. Funnily enough, I can do things like prepping all the food quite easily, and I personally find it easier if I almost don't concentrate on the task in hand and just use my muscle memory of how I used to prep food. So, you know, I've learned to adapt in that way. Now with Alzheimer's and all dementias, essentially, one of the biggest issues is that you can forget to eat and drink. And so one of the ways we've got around that is by using our darling Alex machine, and we set reminders to it tells me when to eat and when to drink, and so we can sort of plot that through the day, and then it's a good reminder because it comes up verbally and it reminds me to, right, eyes up, you've got to go and get your next glass of water or your next cup of tea. With regard to actually cooking, I do love healthy cooking. I love spicy cooking, but it's whatever rocks your boat. But I also love making things like lasagnas and things like that, and they're things that I have made since my children, well, since before I left home. Mum taught me how to cook, and so those things are still pretty much intact for me, but I do appreciate as my journey progresses, things will deteriorate. But the help that I need at the moment is around finding the products that I need to create a meal. So even something as simple as trying to find a loaf of bread can be challenging sometimes. I just don't see it. And I tend to bulk cook, so I will cook a meal for today and then usually 2 days worth that we can have later in the week, which takes some of the stress off. And I'm a lifelong vegetarian. I just don't like the texture of it in my mouth. I never have since childhood. But I do like healthy cooking, and so I try to keep within the general guidelines that are recommended for a woman of my age and size. But it really is finding a way for yourselves to make similar adaptations, because eventually it gets much more difficult. And one of the other things around food and cooking is you might have to put up photos or pictures of the products that are in those cupboards, so they act as visual cues as well. And that's a great way to help people keep as independent as possible as they can. What else can I say, Steve? What haven't I said?
There was something a close friend of yours suggested about meal times.
Oh yeah, there is some evidence to suggest that often people with dementia will eat their breakfast, and they'll often eat that meal well. It's the subsequent meals that often get forgotten about, and so people can lose weight very rapidly, which then leaves them very compromised. Their heart, lungs, liver, all the organs then start to be placed under stress. I've lost track.
What your close friend suggested?
Yes. So what my close friend suggested.
Who is it?
Miranda, and she actually runs a day centre, I suppose you would call it, for people with dementia, and they help them, to find ways of keeping independent in the kitchen. And one of the biggest changes that I made with regard to eating and drinking was actually, rather than having my main meal in the evening, which, having done shift work for all of my life in nursing, we ate in the evenings generally, and actually there's research to suggest that having your meal midday, you're more likely to eat your breakfast and your lunch, but forget about the main meal. So we actually have our main meal in the middle of the day now, and it does work for me really, really well. It also ensures that your gut is actively working in the daytime as well. And another point there is around the hydration thing that's just come to mind, is that you need to keep drinking around the clock if you can. So if you wake up in the night, you need to sort of be prompted to drink. And whether that's an alarm clock that are set up, you've got a few alarm clocks in the kitchen or in your bedroom, or you will find ways around it. And there are also centres, if you don't have the capacity or don't have the skills any longer to do these things, there are small independent places that will provide meals for you and often deliver them and put them in the freezer for you. And that we've actually got a local one to us who just does it for the older population, and they actually take the meals out to them and sit with them and have them have their lunch. So yeah, so that's it really.
So that's everything, yeah? I wanted to talk about food. I think
that's as much of my concentration.
You've covered everything, which is mainly to look at the nutritional side. Being a vegetarian and stroke vegan, you'll eat quite a healthy diet. You're trying to persuade your husband to go over to that as much as possible. Drinking is really important. Like you said, you can use the Alexa in the house to remind you. And if someone's very good at setting it up, someone can set up the Alexa to actually say your name. Kim, it's time to have a drink of water now. That can obviously be used for anyone else at a later date. Obviously, this is quite early in your journey, so that's the idea behind this video journal is to see how you progress over time and how it can still be helpful and everything. Okay, well that's it everyone. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Many thanks everyone.
Stay safe.